Okay, so hello students, we are going to start with the lecture. The name of the topic which we are going to discuss today is project management, and we are going to first look at network construction part of it. So let's begin. So the first question which should come to our mind is, what is a project? So we all are very much familiar with this word already because in every semester we are given some projects to submit. We are given some mini projects, some major projects during the study period or anywhere. So even in life, whenever you are doing any job or anywhere, so you may be assigned certain kind of projects. So actually it's a very broad word. There are many meanings associated with it, but let's look at some examples of the projects in order to understand that what kind of projects we will be studying here and what type of management we'll be doing for the projects. So this example is very simple. You want to construct a new house, so that's a project. You want to build a shopping mall, so that's also a project. Somebody wants to design a new aircraft, and you want to organize some event for family, for any company, or for an institute, for a football match. So whatever kind of event you want to organize, so all of these are categories of projects, so you can call all of them as projects. Similarly, you want to introduce a new product in the market, so that's also referred to as a project. So from these examples, it should be clear to you that anything which you want to do with proper planning and then execution, so basically that comes in the category of a project. But we do have a formal definition also. So that's the definition which we are going to talk about. So a project consists of a number of activities or tasks which need to be performed in certain order to achieve the desired objective. So once again, I will tell you, this is not just the definition. This is not a universal definition of a project. This definition is with respect to this course or the context in which we are going to do the problems, that will be having a number of activities which needs to be performed. And the important word is they have to be performed in order, and then there will be some desired objective to do that project. So just now I gave you examples of different projects, so you can very well associate this definition with those. So example, so if you want to understand this definition in more detail, so you think about submission of a project report to your mentor. So think about the steps. What kind of steps will be involved when you want to submit a project report in a particular semester or wherever? Then what kind of steps will be involved? So you can see, you can think about yourself. So otherwise I can give you these steps. Okay, so the first thing we are going to do is literature search. We'll be trying to search for the literature, that what exactly this topic's background is, and then out of the broad topic we will be finalizing the topic, and then we'll start working for the data collection, that what kind of people have already worked on it, or what kind of mathematical or other kind of data is available. Then we can do certain form of analysis, then quantifying the results, documentation, and finally the submission. So this is just a simple example to understand. Obviously for a different kind of subject or a different kind of report submission, the steps can be different, but this example is just to introduce you to the idea of how does a project looks like, in which you plan something to execute step by step, and then you go into the micro details of each step. So basically, coming back to the definition, as I just gave you this, that a project consists of a number of activities or tasks which need to be performed in certain order to achieve the desired objective. So now let's understand the meaning of these three terms: activities, order, and what kind of objective we are going to achieve. So coming back to the same example, so whatever is this list you are looking at in front of you, these are nothing but the activities or tasks which need to be performed in definitely order. Because see, you cannot first do the data collection and then you do the literature survey. You cannot write your report first and then collect the data. So these steps are like that. They have to be followed in a certain order. Some of the steps can be that simultaneously they can be executed, but actually the order has to be fixed. The order has to be certain specific. You cannot just randomly shuffle the order for the execution of the project. So this means there will be certain activities which need to be performed in certain order. And what kind of objective we can have? So we can have, the objectives can be to finish the project in minimum time or to complete the project at a minimum cost. Because see, whenever you're doing any project, you're not doing it for free. You're investing your time, you're investing your resources, you're purchasing some material, you're printing the material. So whatever, everything is consuming resources. Importantly, the most important resources which we will be focusing on in these kind of problems are time and cost. So because again, I recall you that since we are studying the single objective problems, so our aim will be one, either to finish a project in minimum time or at a minimum cost. But you will see that we'll use a combination of these two later on. So we'll talk about the objective in detail at a later stage. But right now, I just need you to understand that these are the important parts of a project. There will be activities, there will be a certain order of activities and certain objective which needs to be fulfilled. So now we are coming to the modeling part of it. See, we have understood now what is a project. So now we want to execute it. Now we want to plan for it, because you have to plan a number of the activities. So what should be the procedure for doing this project planning and then execution, and obviously satisfying the aim, meeting our aim to finish the project in minimum time or minimum cost. So for that, we need to do the modeling. So just like, if you have not heard the word model, so I can tell you a linear programming problem is a model, basically, because your problem under consideration is an industrial problem, but you have formulated it or programmed it as a linear programming problem. So LPP is nothing but a mathematical model for the industrial problems, the kind of problems which we have been studying so far. So here we'll be talking about a particular kind of models, which is called the network models. So this kind of models are used to understand the dynamics of these project management, project planning, and so on. So we need to connect these two later. So let's first go to what is this network model all about. So again, the question can be, what is a network? So again, it is not having a well defined meaning, or you can say it's not a universal definition is there for the network, but you can understand it in your mind through the examples. Network of roads, social media network, network of oil pipelines. So these are all are examples of networks, and there are plenty of others too. So that means there are certain individual objects which are having some connections. There should be some connections, and those connections can be two-sided, one-sided, any kind of connections are there. They can be complex, they can be simple. So whatever, a network is nothing but a it's a relationship among various objects which are interconnected. So that's the way you can understand. So right now I'll be giving you the applications of network model. Like, the network models are used in designing offshore natural gas pipeline network connecting wellheads in this Gulf of Mexico. So obviously these are the real examples. Actually, this mathematical modeling part is done for this kind of project planning problems. Another kind of example you can have is determination of the shortest route between two cities. I'm very sure this example you might have studied in your other course. Shortest route algorithm you might have already studied. So obviously the representation of the problem there is a kind of on a network. And then determination of maximum capacity can be also modeled using networks. So all of these are just to understand that these network models has a huge broad area of applications where these models are applied and the problems are executed to reach at a particular decision. So we'll be having different examples, and examples will be more or similar to like this only. So now let's go about. So now we'll talk about the what we are going to do. We have understood what is a project, and to understand the project, to manage the project, to plan and execute the project, we need a mathematical representation of the same. And which model we are going to use? The network model. So before going ahead, I may recall you that the transportation problem and the assignment problem are also network problems. But there were, the network was like source is connected to destination. It was one-sided network. First source to first destination, first source to second destination, and so on. But you could not transport goods from the destination to the source back. So that was a particular kind of network. So transportation problem are also studied under the category of these network problems. And similarly, assignment problem is also one kind of a network model. So both the transportation model and the assignment model are also specific kinds of network models. So here we will study even the general kind of network models. So to go further, we need to know that there are two steps involved in whatever we want to do. First step is going to be the construction of network, and the second step will be then the solution technique. So I will not here explain you first the solution technique, because that's entirely a different technique. And when I'll be exactly giving you the problem, then only you'll come to know that what is the meaning of the solution technique. We should be right now just focusing on the first step, which is construction of a network. Firstly, we just want to know how to represent the given problem on a network. We want to see the graphical visualization of the project on a network model. That's the first step. So that should be learned first, and then only we'll be talking about the solution technique. So in today's lecture, we are going to focus on the first step, construction of a network. Okay, so moving ahead towards the construction of network, I need certain definitions with me. So here you can have the specific definition of the network, that it will consist of a set of nodes. So there will be certain kind of nodes, and there will be connection between them, as I've just explained you. Whatever the individual objects are, the persons are, those nodes can physically represent anything in real world, but virtually will be representing them by nodes. They're connected through some connection, and so we represent it through arcs. We'll be drawing the arcs to show the connection between the nodes. So we need this notation NA, where N is a set of nodes and A is a set of arcs. So that's the definition of network which you can understand. And the next important thing is there are two kind of networks. There are two kind of network representations for the project management type of problems. One is activity on arc and one is activity on node. In our course, the kind of method which we are going to do specifically focus on this AOA network, in which activity is represented on arc. What is activity? That's just I have explained you in the beginning when I was giving you the definition of project. That a project consists of a list of activities to be executed, and those need to be executed in a certain order. So activity will be representing on the arc. So this is also called AOA network in short. Otherwise we'll not use this term very frequently, but it should be something which should be on our mind, so that whenever you see AON network, activity on node network, in any other book or in any other text, you should not get confused. There the methods become entirely different, so we have to focus on this kind of network representation. Okay, and so the next thing is, with each network there will be some association, like what is flowing through the network. We are going towards the execution of this project step by step. So what eventually is happening, either there is a flow of oil through the pipelines, it can be a network of pipelines, it can be a network of roads in which the vehicles are flowing. So we want to maximize the traffic flow, we want to maximize the flow rate. So there can be some associated physical quantity. It's the same sense which I explain you in the linear programming problem, that we always have something to be maximized or something to be minimized. So that physical quantity which needs to be maximized or minimized will be there. So this really depends upon the context of the problem, what kind of problems we are going to study. So there will be some flow problems. And then the most important is, each activity is associated with a cost and duration. I've just explained you in the beginning that you're not doing any project execution for free. You're investing your time, you're investing your money, on execution of a project. So that is called consumption of resources. So each activity will have its own consumption of resources. Suppose literature survey will take 2 days, but there is no money involved, suppose, in that. And similarly, submission, documentation of report, the writing of results in the particular example, if I refer to, which I explained in the beginning. So the documentation or the writing part of the report may take 5 days. So each individual activity comes with its information. It will bring itself with itself some information that how much time is being spent on that activity and how much money, if involved, is spent on that activity. So that information will always be given to us in the question. Okay, and then we have certain other definitions. uh, Directed arc. So what do you mean by arc? I'll be explaining you shortly. I've just explained you in here the definition of network. It consists of a set of nodes linked by arcs. So arc is basically like a line connecting two nodes. So an arc is said to be directed or oriented if it allows positive flow in one direction and zero flow in the opposite direction. So just like I give you the example of transportation problem, that if you draw a arc from the source to destination, then definitely there is a positive flow from the source towards the destination. But you cannot bring the units back from the destination to the source. So directed or oriented arc mean your flow of the objects, whatever you are shipping, whatever you are transporting, is allowed only in one direction. So we'll be focusing only on these kind of networks in which we have directions. Like you cannot go back. Like you are, again, take the same example, you are writing a report. After writing the report, you cannot go back to the first step, doing the literature survey again. So that cannot happen. So the order has to be maintained, and there will be never two-sided activities. The direction of the progress of the project will be one. Each activity, each arc is going to have some direction. So that's just the meaning. So you just need to understand the meaning of it. There's no need to remember the definition as such, because we'll be focusing on only one kind of networks, directed networks. So directed network means in which all the arcs are directed. And then we have the another definition. What is a path? So a path is a sequence of distinct arcs that join two nodes through other nodes, regardless of direction of flow in each arc. So here, this is the general definition of a path, but as you will see, we'll be focusing on the particular examples in which all the arcs and activities are directed towards one direction. So this will be simplified. This definition will be simplified to just up to this point, that a path is a sequence of distinct arcs that join two nodes through other nodes. So I'll explain you the meaning of each and every term with an example. So just let me give you one more definition. Cycle. So a path forms a cycle or a loop if it connects a node to itself through other nodes. So again, all of you can very easily understand the meaning of a cycle or a loop. So obviously you start from a particular node and finishes there only. So that is a cycle. So it's very intuitive to understand that if you cannot come back, if you're not allowed to come back, the kind of networks which I am talking about is the directed networks. So in a directed network, you cannot form a cycle because that's not allowed. So that's just for the definition purpose. I give you the definition, but we will not be focusing on those kind of networks in which cycles are formed. Or you can say the kind of project management examples we are studying, they do not allow the formation of cycles. So we won't be seeing cycles anywhere. We'll be only focusing on the directed kind of networks. So let's understand through this all definitions with the help of an example. So N is the set of nodes. So there are 5 nodes, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And A is a set of arcs, 1, 2, 1, 3, 2, 3. So this is directed network. Like 1, 2 means 1 to 2. It does not mean 2 to 1. So the order is important. So these are all the arcs which you have to draw. So if you want to draw this as a network, so this is very easy to understand. I have not even explained the steps here. See, I'll be explaining the steps of network construction from the next example onwards. Here, this is just to explain you the meaning of what are the nodes and what are the arcs. So I have not explained the steps in detail, that how I have drawn this network. Otherwise, it's very easy to see. So there are 5 nodes. You can see the circles which are drawn and the numbers written in between them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, they are all our nodes. And the arrows which are pointing from one node to another node are nothing but the arcs. So from this point onwards, we can call them arrows because obviously they have a direction. Directed arcs are nothing but the arrows pointing from one node to another node. So you can see the connections which I have made here. 1, 2. Yeah. So you can see, sorry, this is 1, 2. So 1, 2, 2 I have drawn. 1, 3. So 1, 2, 3 is drawn. 2, 2, 3. So 2, 2, 3 I have pointed. 2, 2, 5. So 2, 2, 5. 3, 2, 4. So 3, 2, 4. 3, 2, 5 here. And 4 to 5 is here. So this is all about, I have given you the network representation of the given set. N and A. So this is an example of a directed network because all the arcs in this network are directed arcs. And if you want to understand the example of a path, what do I mean by a path? So 1 to 2 to 5, this one which I have highlighted, 1 to 2, and then 2 to 5 is a path connecting the nodes 1 and 5. So nobody will ask a question like, give me a path. This is a wrong question. The question will be like, give me a path from 1 to 5. So the person should specify the starting node and the ending node, and then only you can find a path, right? So the path, for defining a path, you should know from where and to end where. So 1 to 2 to 5 is an example of a path which is connecting the nodes 1 and 5. So you try figure out, find other paths. Say again from 1 to 5 I need a path, so the another possibility can be 1 to 3, 3 to 4, and then 4 to 5, and another possibility can be 1 to 3 and 3 to 5. So there are many ways of reaching from one node to another, so there will be multiple paths will be coming across with. So okay, this example was just to explain you the meaning of node, activities, sorry, arcs, and the path. So now we will be going to the specific thing which I was talking about. Will focus on the construction of networks. So now we'll be moving to the particular examples that you are given a project. The first thing you have to do is represent that project on a network. So move to that example. Yeah, sorry, again, before moving to the specific examples, I have to give you the rules for network construction. So we should understand these rules very carefully. So this is the first thing which we have to follow. Each activity of the project, because I told you the project contains activities, is represented by an arc. This is same thing I've just told you, that we are going to study which kind of networks? AOA, activity on arc. So activity is going to be represented on an arc, pointing in the direction of progress in the project. Obviously, you are not allowed to move backwards in the project. And the nodes, the nodes of the network establish the precedence relationships among the different activities. Among the different, so what are these precedence relationships? So this thing will be clear to you when we'll be doing the specific example, that what is this precedence relationship. So you can otherwise find out the literal meaning of the word precedence. What is the meaning of precede? If I say A precedes B, so that means when B finishes, then A happens. So A precedes B. So, okay, I'll come back to this through the particular example. Right now, let's first focus on the rules for network construction. So that was just the general information. Now we'll be talking about, there are 3 rules for the network construction. The first rule is each activity is represented by, I've just told you the activity is represented by arc, but this is being more specific. The activity representation is only by one and only one arc. So one activity, one arc. There cannot be two representations for one activity. That means one activity cannot be broken down into sub activities. It has to be represented by one and exactly one arc. That's easy rule to follow. There's nothing difficult about it. Then we talk about rule 2. Each activity must be identified by two distinct end nodes. So let me explain you the meaning of rule 2 in detail after first giving you rule 3, because understanding rule 2 is the most important thing. Otherwise we'll draw our networks wrong. So I'll come back to rule 2 before telling you rule 3. So rule 3 is to maintain the correct precedence relationships. The following questions must be answered as each activity is added to the network. So for every activity, we must know that this information will be given to us in the question, and we should analyze the given information in this sense. That what activities must immediately precede the current activity, what activities must follow the current activity, and what activities must occur concurrently. So like, again, take the same example which I gave you for submission of project report, that suppose you are collecting the data. So you should be knowing that what should be the mandatory step. Before starting the data collection, what is that mandatory step which needs to be executed? So that should be the preceding activity before data collection. And then what should be done after data collection? You should be doing the analysis of the data. And what can be done simultaneously? Concurrently means which can happen simultaneously. So because whenever you are performing anything in real time, there can be three possibilities. You can do another activity of the project simultaneously in parallel, or you can do it before, or you can do it exactly after that. So these relationships are known as precedence relationships. Which activity follows which activities precede this. So this word precedence is coming from this word precede. So this information is given to us in the question. The only important thing is we need to understand it very carefully by reading the information from the question, because if we understand it carefully, then only we'll be able to draw the network accurately. So this part, rule 3, will be explained when you will be going to the specific questions, that what kind of relationships are given and what should the interpretation from them. Right now, I'm going to explain you the meaning of rule 2. So yeah, let's move to rule 2. Each activity must be identified by two distinct end nodes. So first of all, you recall the meaning of node. Here I explain you how does a node look like. So this is a node 1, this is a node 2, this is the activity which is being represented by the arrow. So here this particular activity is having two nodes. Each activity is having two nodes, the starting node and the ending node. Like suppose you start collecting data on the 3rd day and you finish data collection on the 5th day, right? So if you are looking at the execution of the project with respect to time, so that means day 3 was your starting node of that activity, data collection, and day 5 was your ending node of that activity, data collection. So each activity is having a starting node. Node means actually representing time, because most of the problems which we'll be doing, they are all are something going to be executed in time. So there will be nothing but representing the instances of time, that okay, 3rd day you started this, 5th day you finished this. So nodes are nothing but the starting time and the finishing time. So each activity is having its own set of two nodes, starting node and the ending node. So now come back to rule 2. What this rule is saying? This rule is saying that each activity must be identified by two distinct end nodes. So let's understand this in detail here. So consider the following segment of a project. What do you mean by distinct end nodes? So that means two particular activities cannot share their end nodes and the starting nodes. For example, here you understand if there are two activities, A and B. Suppose both of them start on day 1 and both finish on day 3. Suppose there are some kind of activities which are not connected, they are being done by separate persons or simultaneously they have been performed. So at their starting time and finishing time is same. So these kind of activities are known as concurrent activities. I just gave you this term. So what is the network representation of this kind of activities, if you understand? So there will be a starting node and a ending node, because both of them are starting on day 1 and both finish on day 3. Suppose this is first node and second node, and the duration is say 3 days or 2 days, whatever. So I'm not including the time unit here, it is just you understand it from the node. So this is the first node and this is the second node. So if you represent this information, two activities start on day 1 and both finish on day 3. That means their starting and ending node are same. So if you represent this in this way, so actually this is incorrect. So that's what is said by rule 2, that each activity has its own two distinct end nodes. Like A activity has starting node 1 and ending node 2. B activity is also having starting node 1 and ending node 2. This should not happen in the network construction. If there are two activities different, so they cannot share both the nodes. Like either their starting node can be same, so their ending node should be different. If their ending node is same, so their starting node should be different. That's what the broad meaning of this is, and that's what we should understand, because that's the information we'll be going to use in the network construction. So I repeat, what do I mean by this? That if suppose two activities have same starting node, then you cannot make them end at the same node. Yet their ending node has to be made different. But if they happen to be end at the same node, like this will happen in certain examples, then their starting node has to be different. So now we need to get to the solution, that how to do this. If this is incorrect representation, then what is the correct representation? So this should be the correct representation of this, that okay, A is starting at 1, B is also starting at 1. A is ending at node 2, B is also ending at node, B is ending at node 3. But if you look carefully, this new node which I have introduced is node 3, and this arrow which I have introduced, this dashed arrow, this is basically denoting a dummy activity. Because while going from node 2 to node 3, actually you're not performing any activity, because you should not, because A and B are supposed to happen at the same time, but it is just a mathematical limitation, you can say, or the limitation coming from the network construction, that I cannot afford to make them end at the same node. That's incorrect representation. So just to make the representation right, I have to introduce a dummy activity here from node 2 to node 3, and so that is the correct representation. So if A is taking, so day 1, if they're starting on day 1 and finishing on day 3, so if you count the number of days, so 3 days it is taking. So the time taken by A is 3, the time taken by B is 3, the time taken by dummy activity is 0. So dummy word is the same meaning which we used to talk about in assignment and transportation problem. The dummy jobs, dummy employees, actually they do not exist. They are just a part of our system to facilitate application of certain mathematical procedures. So this A is also ending at actually node 3, because the time taken to finish A activity is 3 plus 0. From here to here, you are taking 3 days. From here to here, you are actually taking 0 days. So the time taken to for A to finish is 3 plus 0, 3 days. And the time taken by B to finish is also 3 days. That means we are justifying whatever the information was given to us. Both of them are taking 3 days. But we are representing it with the dummy activity. So that's the meaning of this rule 2, that each individual activity should have its own distinct end nodes. Their ending and starting nodes cannot be shared. Maximum possible, one node can be same. For example, in this case, the example I have given you, I have kept their starting node same, but I have made their ending node different. So this kind of examples will very frequently occur in the big examples when we'll be doing the real examples. So there you should take care of this thing. So I just hope this is clear. So I'll just take a little pause here and ask you people if anybody has any doubt, then okay, so let's move ahead. So that was understanding of rule 2, where we introduced a dummy activity for this condition satisfaction. So then we should also talk about another condition where we may need the use of a dummy activity. So there is another situation also in network construction where we need a dummy activity. So for that, you consider this example. So activity C starts immediately after A and B have been completed, and activity E starts only after B has been completed. So this is some extract taken from a big example. I've just taken these two activities, these 2 points from a given big project to make you understand that how dummy activity will be introduced. So firstly, focus on first point. So there are A, B, C and E, 4 activities involved. So that's the representation which I draw so far. I'm not saying A and B are the starting activities, nothing like that. It is just somewhere A and B are coming. So you first focus on first point. Activity C starts immediately after A and B have been completed. So that means, see, whenever you see this kind of phrase in the question, that when this and this simultaneously finish. So even the word simultaneously is not written, but this means the same thing. That when both A and B, because the word written is and, when both A and B finish, then C starts. Okay. So right now you just don't look at E first. First you just focus on here. This is the node, this is the ending node which I have drawn for A and B. That suppose this is the point where A and B finishes. So from this point onwards, C has to start. So up to this is accurately drawn, that first point is taken care of. Now you go to second point. What is the second point telling you? Activity E starts only after B has been completed. So E has to start when B completes. So E is starting from here. So now we would like to analyze it whether this is the correct representation of the information given or it is incorrect. So obviously this is incorrect. Why it is incorrect? Because you can clearly see the language difference in the first and two. Activity C required both A and B to finish, but activity E does not require A to finish, right? Suppose B is taking 2 days, A is taking 3 days. Then C has to wait 3 days, obviously, because see, B is taking 2 days, A is taking 3 days. But according to point number 1, C cannot start when both A and B are finished. So actually C has to wait. The waiting time for starting of activity C is 3 days. That's understood. And but if you look at activity E starts after B has been completed. So the starting point of E will be different from the starting point of C, because C will start after 3 days, but E can start after 2 days, because E should not wait for A to finish, because there is no such requirement mentioned, right? So this is an incorrect representation because of the information. Okay, yes, so we have a doubt here. Yes, Ishangi.
Please explain this again. मतलब हमारा ये केस भी तो हो सकता है that if A and B start at different times and they both end at the same time,
Mm-hmm.
then C and E के अंदर से कौन सा choose होना चाहिए? Because A and B के immediately बाद C has to go
Mm-hmm.
and after B ends E has to go. Then what
Yeah.
will happen? There will be a case when E and C both start at the same time but end at a different time.
See, I'll again give you a better example. उससे आपको थोड़ा समझ आ जाएगा इसको और अच्छे से. ठीक है, इसको एक हम example लेते हैं. So let me first give you the another explanation. उसके बाद I hope it will be clear. Right. So you just consider as an example of that. Suppose C is a person. ये कोई रेस्टोरेंट है. सपोज ये नोड है जो यहाँ पे ड्रॉ किया है हमने. सपोज ये कोई रेस्टोरेंट है. यहाँ पे कोई वेटिंग, C is waiting for A and B to come. Suppose C को दोनों से मिलना है, उसको A से भी काम है, उसको B से भी काम है, और be more specific. A has to give some money to C and B also has to give some money to C. और C को अपने पूरे पैसे लेके ही जाना है. So C has to wait for both A and B to arrive, जितना भी टाइम ले. Suppose A वहां पे पहुंचा 3 घंटे में और B वहां पे आया 2 घंटे में. तो when B has arrived here, तब तक C वहां से नहीं जाएगा. C एक्टिविटी स्टार्ट हो ही नहीं सकती बिकॉज उसको A का वेट करना ही करना है. Because that's what the information is telling you, right? So it has to wait for A. तो C का स्टार्टिंग तभी होगा जब A और B खत्म हो जाएंगे. So ये वाली रिप्रेजेंटेशन तो ठीक है कि जिस नोड पे A और B फिनिश हो रहे हैं वहां से C जो है स्टार्ट हो रहा है. दिस इज राइट. बट अब हम E की बात कर रहे हैं. ये कह रहा है कि E कैन स्टार्ट व्हेन B हैज बीन कंप्लीटेड. अब A पर्सन जो है चाहे वो वहां पे आया है चाहे नहीं आया है, जैसे ही बी पर्सन यहाँ पे पहुंचा है तो ई कैन स्टार्ट और वट एवर. ई का काम खत्म हो गया, उसको सिर्फ बी से मिलना था, उसको सिर्फ बी से अपना मनी कलेक्ट करना था. सो वाई दिस एक्टिविटी ई विल वेट टू स्टार्ट. उसको एडिशनल उसका स्टार्टिंग टाइम में हम डिले क्यों करेंगे? क्योंकि उसकी ए पे डिपेंडेंसी नहीं है. सो ई का स्टार्टिंग नोड और सी का स्टार्टिंग नोड हम सेम नहीं रख सकते हैं बिकॉज ये वो नोड है जहां पे ए और बी एक साथ फिनिश हो रहे हैं. तो व्हाट हमें क्या करना पड़ेगा इस सिचुएशन में? हमें ए और बी का एंडिंग नोड डिफरेंट बनाना पड़ेगा. अब ए और बी देखो कहाँ पे खत्म हो रहे हैं, सी. अब ये नोड जो 3 मैंने बनाया है ये बी का एंडिंग नोड है, यहाँ पे ए नहीं फिनिश हो रहा है. यू कैन सी द एरो, मैंने इनको डमी से कनेक्ट किया है. दिस एरो इज पॉइंटिंग अपवर्ड्स. सो दैट मीन्स at this node 3 B activity is finishing और E यहीं से स्टार्ट होगा क्योंकि E को शुरू होने के लिए सिर्फ B का फिनिश होना जरूरी था, राइट? बट C के लिए A और B दोनों का फिनिश होना जरूरी है. तो नोड 2 पे A फिनिश हो रहा है और नोड 2 पे B भी फिनिश हो रहा है बिकॉज यू सी द पाथ दिस प्लस दिस. B3 पे भी खत्म हो रहा है, B2 पे भी खत्म हो रहा है. B के हमने 2 एंडिंग नोड बना लिए. एक अलग उसका इसलिए बनाया है क्योंकि वहां से E ने स्टार्ट होना था और एक शेयर्ड बनाया है A के साथ क्योंकि इस तरह की इंफॉर्मेशन है कि उनका साइमल्टेनियसली कहीं पे खत्म होना जरूरी है, तभी एक नई एक्टिविटी स्टार्ट होगी. सो आई एम ट्राइंग टू एक्सप्लेन. इस तरह के फ्रेजेस आते हैं नेटवर्क कंस्ट्रक्शन में बहुत कॉमन कि एक एक्टिविटी तभी शुरू होगी जब ये 2 एक्टिविटीज खत्म हो जाएंगी. तो उस केस में आपको एक कॉमन एंडिंग नोड ड्रॉ करना पड़ता है उन दोनों एक्टिविटीज का. तो अगर ई वाली इंफॉर्मेशन यहाँ पे नहीं होती तो ये सही था, फिर ये ड्रॉ करने की जरूरत नहीं थी. बट जब भी इस तरह की इंफॉर्मेशन आएगी कि बी को अलग से भी किसी एक्टिविटी को प्रिसीड करना है और उसको किसी ए के कॉम्बिनेशन के साथ भी किसी एक्टिविटी को स्टार्ट कराना है, फिर ये वाला रिप्रेजेंटेशन होता है कि बी का अपना भी एक अलग एंडिंग नोड बनेगा और उनका ज्वाइंट भी एक एंडिंग नोड आपको बनाना पड़ेगा जो कनेक्टेड होंगे डमी एक्टिविटी से. और उससे आपके नेटवर्क की कंस्ट्रक्शन पे टाइमिंग पे कोई फर्क नहीं पड़ रहा है क्योंकि डमी एक्टिविटी का ड्यूरेशन तो 0 है. सो ऐसा नहीं कि आपने बी का टाइम बढ़ा दिया या कुछ कर दिया. इट्स नथिंग लाइक दैट. सो दैट्स द करेक्ट रिप्रेजेंटेशन. Yeah, so now you ask if you are still confused. Hello?
This I got, but now in the specific case when A and B end at the same time and have started at different times, and we want that C and E both start at the same time but end at different times, तो हमारा left hand side वाला correct होगा?
हाँ करेक्ट होगा. मतलब यहाँ पे अगर B पॉइंट में ये आफ्टर B के साथ A भी लिख देते हैं, आफ्टर A एंड B, वो फिर ये सही था. एंड इट्स नॉट ओनली अबाउट द टाइम्स बिकॉज हमें बहुत बार ऐसी इंफॉर्मेशन मिलेगी कि हमें टाइम के सेंस में नहीं देखना है. सी मैं आपको एलपीपी में भी हमेशा यही समझाती हूँ जब हम फिजिबल रीजन ड्रॉ करते हैं या जब हम सॉल्व करते हैं कि पहले ही आप ऑप्टिमाइज पे मत जाओ, चीजों को अपनी तरफ से ऑप्टिमाइज करने की कोशिश मत करो. द फर्स्ट स्टेप यू नीड टू लर्न इज एक्यूरेट रिप्रेजेंटेशन. वो बाद में हम उसको ऑप्टिमाइज करेंगे जब तो टाइम का फैक्टर तब कंसिडरेशन में आता है. सो द पॉइंट आई एम ट्राइंग टू कन्वे, जब हम नेटवर्क ड्रॉ करेंगे हमें जो उनके टाइम्स की इंफॉर्मेशन गिवन होगी ना हम उसको नहीं देखेंगे. वो बाद में जब हम उसको, जो सेकंड स्टेप है जिसको मैं सॉल्यूशन टेक्निक बोल रही हूँ, देयर दैट थिंग विल बी टेकन केयर ऑफ. फर्स्ट स्टेप इज ओनली अबाउट ड्रॉइंग द नेटवर्क, और उसमें सिर्फ हमें एक्टिविटीज कहाँ खत्म हो रही है, किसके बाद कौन सी शुरू हो रही है, कौन पैरेलल चल रहा है, प्रीसीडेंस रिलेशनशिप जिसको मैं बोल रही हूँ, बस वो इन्फॉर्मेशन चाहिए. और ये वाले रूल्स को हमें फॉलो करना है. You will see in the coming example. Okay, so shall I move ahead? So these were the two cases we need a dummy activity. एक तो हमें यहाँ पे चाहिए अगर रूल 2 वायलेट हो रहा हो कि एक नोड अगर दो एक्टिविटीज का सेम है तो दूसरा वाला अलग बनाना पड़ेगा, उनको डमी से कनेक्ट करना पड़ेगा. और दूसरी जरूरत है डमी एक्टिविटी की इस सिचुएशन में. Okay, so now go to the specific example. So I've taken this example. It's very simple. So a company is in the process of preparing a budget for launching a new product. And this is a table. So every time you will be given the information in the form of a table. So this table is given to me. Activities are given. See, this does not matter. ये कुछ भी लिखा हो. Obviously ये problem to problem vary करेगा. ये आपको हमेशा हर problem का एक, because that problem has been taken from some real time scenario, so there will be certain kind of activities. But जब हम actual construction पे जाएंगे, so what matters is बस उनके नाम A B C D. So remember this notations हम activities का consistent रखेंगे, A B C D से ही करेंगे. ये अलग अलग text में अलग अलग होता है. Like in some books they use numbers for this, but that's confusing because numbers हम nodes के लिए use करेंगे और activities के लिए हम alphabets use करेंगे, वो भी capital A B C D. तो वैसे हमें हर क्वेश्चन में वही दिया होता है, बट नहीं भी दिया, सो वी हैव टू यूज दिस नोटेशन. सो दीज आर द एक्टिविटीज. प्रीडिसेसर्स, सो यू विल बी गिवन द इंफॉर्मेशन कि कौन सा फॉलोअर है, कौन सा प्रीडिसेसर है, तो वो इन्फॉर्मेशन हमें यहाँ पे गिवन है. और ड्यूरेशन. सो एट दिस स्टेप क्योंकि सिर्फ हम नेटवर्क कंस्ट्रक्शन कर रहे हैं तो ड्यूरेशन डज नॉट मैटर, वो कुछ भी हो. अभी हम सिर्फ फर्स्ट 2 कॉलम्स को देखेंगे, द एक्टिविटी एंड द प्रीडिसेसर्स. सो हियर नथिंग इज रिटन. So that means there is no predecessor. Predecessor ना होने का मतलब है कि उससे पहले कुछ नहीं है. उससे पहले कुछ नहीं है means वो starting activity है. वहीं से आपको starting of the project start करना है, count करना शुरू करना है. So let's go to the construction part. Okay, so remember this rule. First rule is there will be one starting node and one ending node. ऐसा तो नहीं कि आप एक ही प्रोजेक्ट की स्टार्टिंग डेट अलग अलग डालते हो, एंडिंग डेट भी अलग अलग डालते हो. बीच में आप जितने भी दिन की शफलिंग करो, कुछ भी करो, आपका थोड़ा बहुत इधर उधर हो सकता है कि नहीं, थर्ड एक्टिविटी जो थी मेरी 4th डे के मिडल में खत्म हुई थी, सो व्हाटएवर. सो बीच वाली एक्टिविटीज की टाइमिंग्स भी फिक्स्ड होती हैं वैसे, बट स्टार्टिंग नोड और एंडिंग नोड आपका फिक्स ही होता है. सो देयर शुड बी ऑलवेज वन स्टार्टिंग नोड ऑफ द होल नेटवर्क एंड वन एंडिंग नोड. सो पहले हमें स्टार्टिंग नोड ड्रॉ करना है. And then you have to look at those activities जिनका कोई predecessor नहीं है. Means वो starting activities हैं, वो आपका day 0, जिसको day 1 बोलो या day 0 बोलो. अब जरूरी नहीं टाइम की ड्यूरेशन जो है यूनिट हमेशा डे ही हो. कई बार मिनट्स होता है, कई बार आवर्स होता है, कई बार वीक्स होता है, मंथ्स भी हो सकता है. सो दैट्स रियली डज नॉट मैटर, वो कंसिस्टेंट ही होता है. बट यू जस्ट नीड टू नो, आइडेंटिफाई फर्स्ट दोज एक्टिविटीज जिनका कोई भी प्रीडिसेसर नहीं है. तो स्टार्टिंग नोड हमने एक बनाया, आई कंस्ट्रक्टेड दिस नोड, और यहाँ से जितनी भी फर्स्ट स्टार्टिंग एक्टिविटीज हैं उनको ड्रॉ कर दिया. सो मैंने ए और बी को ड्रॉ कर दिया. यहाँ पे एरो से ड्रॉ करना है बिकॉज एज आई हैव एक्सप्लेन्ड यू द रूल, ईच एक्टिविटी इज हैविंग इट्स ओन एरो, ओन आर्क. देन यू जस्ट मूव स्टेप बाय स्टेप रीडिंग द इंफॉर्मेशन फ्रॉम द क्वेश्चन. और छोड़ना नहीं है बीच में, आपको ऑर्डर में ही फॉलो करना है. सो आई एम नाउ फोकसिंग ऑन सी. C का प्रीडिसेसर क्या है? A. So that means A एक्टिविटी जहां पे खत्म हो रही है वहां से C स्टार्ट होगा. Okay, so for that I'll draw ending node of A and then वहां से हम C स्टार्ट करेंगे. So that's the step you need to learn. हम पहले ही नोड्स नहीं ड्रॉ करते हैं. जैसे प्रीवियस स्टेप में मैंने क्या किया था, A और B एक्टिविटीज ड्रॉ की थी, बट मैंने उनका नोड नहीं, उनका एंडिंग नोड नहीं ड्रॉ किया था, बिकॉज वो आपका नेक्स्ट स्टेप में ड्रॉ होता है बाय रीडिंग द नेक्स्ट इंफॉर्मेशन. सो व्हेन आई रेड द इंफॉर्मेशन दैट एक्टिविटी सी का प्रीडिसेसर इज ए, दैट मींस ए जहां पे खत्म होगा वहां से सी स्टार्ट होगा. सो दैट्स व्हाट इट इज हैपनिंग. तो ये हो गया. अभी डी पे जाएंगे. नेक्स्ट एक्टिविटी डी का प्रीडिसेसर है सी. So that means C जहां पे खत्म होगा वहां से D स्टार्ट होगा. So very simple. So C का मैंने एंडिंग नोड बनाया और वहां से D स्टार्ट करा लिया. उसके बाद एक्टिविटी है E. E का प्रीडिसेसर है D. अगेन सेम. सो D जहां पे खत्म होगा वहां से E स्टार्ट होगा. सो ये इट डज नॉट मैटर, मैंने वो स्पेस नहीं था तो इसको डाउनवर्ड बना दिया, आगे भी लेके जा सकते हो. या आप जब बहुत सारे एग्जांपल्स कर लोगे आप इसको एफिशिएंटली सीख जाओगे कि हाउ टू ड्रॉ द नेटवर्क वेरी नीट एंड क्लीन वे. बस एक चीज याद रखनी है, कर्व्ड लाइंस नहीं बनानी है नेटवर्क में, स्ट्रेट एरोज से दिखाना है हमेशा, और एरोज आपके फॉरवर्ड लुकिंग होने चाहिए. जैसे ये तो चलो डाउनवर्ड है बट स्टिल इट्स शोइंग द प्रोग्रेस. बैकवर्ड एरोज नहीं बनाने हैं आपको कभी भी, वो बिकॉज दैट्स इनकरेक्ट रिप्रेजेंटेशन. सो इट शुड बी स्ट्रेट एरो, द एरो शुड नॉट क्रॉस ईच अदर एंड अदरवाइज इट्स फाइन. डायरेक्शन आप कुछ भी बना लो उसका. ओके सॉरी आई वाज हियर. या ई का प्रीडिसेसर है डी, तो जहां पे डी खत्म हुआ वहां पे मैंने ई ड्रॉ कर लिया. उसके बाद है एफ. सो यू अंडरस्टैंड दिस नाउ केयरफुली. एफ का प्रीडिसेसर है दो, बी और ई. सो हेयर इज दैट सिचुएशन कि एफ तब स्टार्ट होगा जहां पे बी और ई एक साथ खत्म होंगे. सो वो दो प्रीडिसेसर, जब जब एक प्रीडिसेसर होता है वो बहुत इजी केस है, बस आपको सीधा ड्रॉ करते जाना है जो जो भी प्रीडिसेसर है उसके आगे. बट नाउ यू सी एफ के दो प्रीडिसेसर हैं बी और ई. सो दैट मीन्स बी और ई जहां साइमल्टेनियसली फिनिश होंगे मुझे वहां से एफ ड्रॉ करना है. सो दैट मीन्स मुझे एक बी और ई का कॉमन एंडिंग नोड बनाना है, वहां से एफ को स्टार्ट कराना है. बट रिमेंबर दिस थिंग, अब आप उनका एंडिंग नोड सेम बनाने जा रहे हो तो आपको पहले तो एक चीज वेरीफाई करनी है कि कहीं उनका स्टार्टिंग नोड सेम तो नहीं है. बिकॉज एज पर द रूल 2, अगर किसी दो एक्टिविटीज का एक नोड कॉमन है, स्टार्टिंग वाला या एंडिंग वाला, तो दूसरे वाला अलग होना चाहिए. सो वेन एवर यू आर ट्राइंग टू make the ending node of any two activities common, just be sure कि उनका starting node अलग अलग है. This is one thing you have to take care. So that's okay in this question because B का starting node तो ये वाला है और E का starting node ये वाला है. तो उनके starting node अलग अलग हैं, तो मैं उनका ending node एक common बना सकती हूँ. तो मैंने वो B को stretch करके यहाँ तक draw कर दिया. So it's all about drawing. तो because B पहले मैंने यहाँ तक draw किया था, but I know मुझे उनका एक कॉमन एंडिंग नोड बनाना है, तो आप B को यहाँ से रिप्रेजेंट कर दो ऐसे. सो हेयर B एंड E आर साइमल्टेनियसली एंडिंग एट दिस नोड. वहां से क्या स्टार्ट होगा F. एंड फाइनली द लास्ट एक्टिविटी G. F के बाद मतलब F जहां पे खत्म होगा वहां से G एक्टिविटी स्टार्ट होगी. दैट्स द एंड ऑफ द एक्टिविटीज. कोई इंफॉर्मेशन नहीं है, मतलब बस यही लास्ट एक्टिविटी थी, यही हमारा लास्ट नोड है. सो दिस वाज अ वेरी सिंपल एग्जांपल. यहाँ पे तो हमें डमी की जरूरत भी नहीं पड़ी. ऑल द इंफॉर्मेशन वाज गिवन टू अस वेरी इजीली, वी कुड रिप्रेजेंट इट. आपका स्ट्रक्चर थोड़ा अलग हो सकता है डिपेंडिंग अपॉन आपने स्टार्टिंग एक्टिविटीज कैसे बनाई थी, बट इन द लास्ट जब भी आप स्टार्टिंग में हमेशा थोड़ा सा रफ ड्रॉ करते हैं, बाद में जब उसको फेयर ड्रॉ करते हैं, सो इट शुड बी नीट एंड क्लीन. दे शुड नॉट बी क्रॉसेस, दे शुड नॉट बी कर्व्ड एरोज और समथिंग लाइक दैट. Okay. Yeah, so that's the representation. Now we need to number the nodes. That's still incomplete. अभी हमें नोड्स की नंबरिंग करनी है बिकॉज उसके बिना हम आगे क्वेश्चन एग्जीक्यूट नहीं कर पाएंगे. so, नोड्स के नंबरिंग का बस एक ही रूल है, एज सच उसका कोई रूल नहीं है. बस आपको ये ध्यान रखना है कि द एरो शुड बी पॉइंटिंग टुवर्ड्स अ बिगर नंबर. आपको नंबरिंग ऐसे करनी है कि आपकी जो एक्टिविटी को आप देखो तो इट शुड बी 1 to 2, नॉट फ्रॉम 2 to 1. It should be 2 to 3, not from 3 to 2. Number skip हो सकता है, it can be 2 to 5, but it cannot be 5 to 2. So that's the only thing you have to follow, that numbering should be done in a way that arrow should be pointed towards bigger number. Because numbers का as such कोई rule नहीं है, but that's the thing which we have to follow. So obviously starting node हमेशा 1 होगा और ending node का number वही होगा जितने आपके nodes हैं. Like this is 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. तो obviously starting और ending node का number फिक्स है. अब बीच में आपको ध्यान में रखना है, लाइक सपोज मैं इसको 2 दे दूं तो व्हाट इज गोइंग टू हैपन, दिस विल बी 3, दिस विल बी 4, दिस विल बी 5, So ये क्या बन गया 5 to 2. So this is wrong. So this is not allowed. So therefore better I should change the way I numbered. I'll be doing it like 2, 3, 4, 5, and then 6, and then 7. So there was there's no hard decision to be taken in this question for the numbering. It was very easy. So आपको बस वही rule follow करना है कि the number arrow should be pointing from the small number towards the bigger number. ये भी आप प्रैक्टिस से सीख जाते हो. इस क्वेश्चन में तो इतने नोट्स नहीं है, तो इट इज इजी, बट अदरवाइज कुछ क्वेश्चंस में थोड़ा कॉम्प्लिकेटेड होता है, बट दैट्स वेरी इजी टू टैकल विद. और उसके बाद हमें देखना है ड्यूरेशंस. दिस इज द नेटवर्क ड्रॉन. अभी हमें ड्यूरेशंस का कुछ करना नहीं है बिकॉज दिस स्टेप इज ओनली टू लर्न द कंस्ट्रक्शन ऑफ नेटवर्क, बट देयर इज अ पर्टिकुलर प्लेस वेयर वी राइट द ड्यूरेशंस. तो इट्स समथिंग लाइक ग्राफिकल रिप्रेजेंटेशन. तो हमें वहीं पे वो सारा इंफॉर्मेशन नेटवर्क का देना है. Yeah, so this is the starting node 1, as I've just told you in the beginning कि एक starting node होगा और एक हमारा terminal node होगा जिसको हम last node भी बोलते हैं. और यहाँ पे हम durations लिखते हैं. So below each activity, activity means below each arrow, हम उस particular activity का duration लिखते हैं. जैसे A का duration है 10, so I've written 10 here. B का duration is 7, so I've written 7 here. Similarly others, C5, T3 and so on. और उसके बाद जब हम नेक्स्ट स्टेप पे जाते हैं तब हमें ABCD लिखने की अब जरूरत नहीं पड़ती है. व्हाट मैटर्स विल बी जस्ट नंबर्स आफ्टर दिस स्टेप. पहले स्टेप के लिए हमें ABCD की नोटेशंस चाहिए होती हैं एक्टिविटीज के लिए, क्योंकि पूरा नेटवर्क कंस्ट्रक्शन का इंफॉर्मेशन उसी फॉर्म में गिवन है हमें. बट जब आप अब उसकी ऑप्टिमाइजेशन पे जाओगे, आप कुछ भी करोगे, टाइम कम करोगे, कॉस्ट कम करोगे, फिर हमें सिर्फ नंबर्स चाहिए. हमें नोड्स की नंबरिंग चाहिए 1 2 3 4 5 6 7, और ये जो टाइम्स गिवन होते हैं आपको वो चाहिए. सो विल बी रिटेनिंग ओनली दैट. एनीवेज दैट स्टेप विल कम लेटर. सो दैट वाज द फर्स्ट एग्जांपल. And now moving to example 2. So there's nothing new in this example. It's just a bit more number of steps are given. The list of activities is longer. So in this, a publisher has a contract with an author to publish a textbook. So there are the list of activities which are given to us. These are the predecessors, and then these are the durations. So you have to develop the associated network for the project. So firstly, I told you, you should draw a starting node and you have to identify those activities जिनका कोई भी predecessor नहीं है. So वो सारे starting के activities बन जाएंगे. So first node से ABCD will have 4 activities. And then step by step E. E के 2 predecessor हैं, A और B. So that means E मुझे वहां से start कराना है जहां पे A और B क्या होंगे, finish. अभी A और B का हमें एंडिंग नोड क्या बनाना चाहिए, सेम. बट रिमेंबर रूल 2, एंडिंग नोड सेम बनाने से पहले हमेशा एक चीज चेक करनी है कि उनका स्टार्टिंग नोड जो है वो सेम तो नहीं है. विच इज सेम इन दिस केस. A और B का स्टार्टिंग नोड सेम है, वो दोनों इसी नोड से स्टार्ट हो रहे हैं. तो एज पर रूल 2 देयर एंडिंग नोड कैन नॉट बी सेम. बट इस इंफॉर्मेशन को मुझे रिप्रेजेंट करना है, सो ऑब्वियसली आई विल बी यूजिंग द हेल्प ऑफ अ डमी नोड. सो ऐसे हम ड्रॉ कर लेंगे. तो मैंने 2 नोड्स बना दिए. ये वाला जो है हमारा A का एंडिंग नोड है और ये वाला जो है हमारा B का इंडिविजुअल एंडिंग नोड है. और साइमल्टेनियसली यहाँ पे, क्योंकि ये एरो, अब डमी एरो की डायरेक्शन मैटर करती है. सी मैंने एरो बनाया अपवर्ड्स, मींस यहाँ पे खत्म हो रहा है. सो दैट मींस ये वाले नोड से हम E एक्टिविटी स्टार्ट कराएंगे, बिकॉज दिस इज द ज्वाइंट नोड वेयर बोथ A एंड B आर एंडिंग साइमल्टेनियसली. यहाँ से E नहीं बना सकते हैं हम, बिकॉज यहाँ पे सिर्फ B खत्म हो रहा है, यहाँ पे A नहीं खत्म हो रहा है, क्योंकि एरो तो इस तरफ आया ही नहीं. आपका डमी एरो की डायरेक्शन आपने किस तरफ ड्रॉ की है वो डिसाइड करेगा कि ज्वाइंट एंडिंग नोड कौन सा है. सो यू हैव टू टेक दिस पॉइंट इनटू कंसिडरेशन. जब भी आप डमी एक्टिविटी इंट्रोड्यूस करते हो तो जिस तरफ एरो पॉइंट, दोनों ऑप्शन है, आप दोनों तरफ बना सकते हो, बट फिर उसके अकॉर्डिंग आपका रिप्रेजेंटेशन बदल जाएगा. अगर आप ये एरो डाउनवर्ड्स पॉइंट करते हो डमी वाला, तो यहाँ से E स्टार्ट होगा, क्योंकि इन दैट केस दिस नोड विल बी द एंडिंग नोड फॉर A एंड B साइमल्टेनियसली. बट अगर आप डमी एरो अपवर्ड्स पॉइंट करते हो तो ये वाला नोड होगा आपका एंडिंग नोड, राइट. सो या दैट्स व्हाट इट इज हैपनिंग. E is starting from where A and B are finishing. उसके बाद F is starting where E is finishing. E का एंडिंग नोड बनाया, वहां से F निकाल दिया। फिर आपका G भी वहीं से है जहां F फिनिश हो रहा है, सो F को फिनिश कराया, वहां से मैंने G ड्रॉ किया। H इज स्टार्टिंग वेयर D इज एंडिंग, सो D ये है। अभी तक मैंने D का एंडिंग नोड नहीं बनाया था, बट अभी मुझे D का एंडिंग नोड बनाना है और वहां से H को स्टार्ट करना है। उसके बाद आता है I. I is starting where three predecessors, so it has three predecessors, C, G and H. तो जहां भी C, G, H को आप साइमल्टेनियसली एंड कराओगे, वहां पे आपको I स्टार्ट कराना है। तो अगेन वही पॉइंट का ध्यान रखना है आपको कि उनका स्टार्टिंग नोड सेम नहीं होना चाहिए C, G, H का। सो यू कैन सी C का स्टार्टिंग नोड है ये वाला, G का स्टार्टिंग नोड है ये, और H का स्टार्टिंग नोड है ये। तीनों का सेम मीन्स तीनों में से किसी दो का भी मैच नहीं करना चाहिए, मीन्स तीनों का इंडिविजुअल होना चाहिए। तो तीनों का अलग अलग है, तो हम तीनों का एंडिंग नोड हम कॉमन बना सकते हैं। अदरवाइज मान लो ऐसी सिचुएशन होती है कि किसी दो का कॉमन है, तीसरे का अलग है, फिर भी हम डमी ही इंट्रोड्यूस करेंगे। सो हियर देयर इज नो नीड टू इंट्रोड्यूस डमी हियर, बिकॉज तीनों का इंडिविजुअल स्टार्टिंग नोड है, बट हम तीनों का एंडिंग नोड सेम बना सकते हैं। तो सी, जी और एच को मैंने एक नोड पे फिनिश करा दिया और वहां से will get to start I, and finally J after I. उसके बाद कोई इंफॉर्मेशन नहीं है, so that's the complete network drawn. And अब आपको नंबरिंग करना है नेटवर्क का, so it's very easy. This will be 1, then this will be 2, this will be 3, क्योंकि arrow upwards pointed है, तो 2 है, ये 3 है, 4, 5, 6, then 7, then 8 and then 9. ऑल्टरनेट भी आपकी हो सकती है, नंबरिंग में भी आप कोई और तरीके से नंबरिंग करो विच स्टिल फॉलोज दैट रूल, दैट्स पॉसिबल। हो सकता है आप ऐसे कर सकते थे 1 2 3, दिस कुड बी 4, देन 5 6 7 8 9, सो दैट्स ओके, सो दैट डज नॉट मैटर। बट उसके अकॉर्डिंग आपका ऑब्वियसली क्वेश्चन की सिंबॉलिक रिप्रेजेंटेशन बदल जाएगी, बट द क्वेश्चन रिमेन्स द सेम। And actually that's what I've done here, 1 2 3 4 and then 5 6 7 8 9. And then here I have not written the durations, all the durations भी given थी इस question में भी, but मैंने durations लिखे नहीं है क्योंकि अभी हम focus नहीं कर रहे हैं उस step पे। So that's about network construction, but I will tell you that ये आपको तभी आएगा जब आप इसकी अच्छे से practice करोगे, because here I've just taken 2 examples और एक और केस है जो इन एग्जाम्पल में कवर नहीं हो रहा है, so वो आप खुद देखोगे and then you will realize that's a part of the tube sheet question. So उसमें एक केस है जो इसमें नहीं अराइज हुआ, रूल्स यही हैं बट वो थोड़े और कॉम्प्लिकेटेड एग्जांपल्स हैं, तो उनकी प्रैक्टिस के बाद ही आपको इसमें कॉन्फिडेंस आएगा दैट यू आर डूइंग दिस स्टेप एक्यूरेटली, बिकॉज सी दिस इज द फर्स्ट स्टेप। अगर आपका नेटवर्क ही गलत ड्रॉ है तो पूरा क्वेश्चन गलत है, it's very obvious, it happens in all the questions of optimization, but this step is really very crucial. आपका network representation सही होना चाहिए, only then you can proceed. So firstly you need to practice this, and then we'll in the next lecture start with the critical path method. So that's a method which takes care of the solution technique, the thing which I was talking about. हम optimize करेंगे कुछ भी time या cost जो भी हमें given होगा, जैसे usually ये times given है, you can see हमें जो क्वेश्चंस में इंफॉर्मेशन गिवन है वो टाइम्स हैं, तो ऑब्वियसली इन क्वेश्चंस का फर्दर स्टेप होगा कि फिनिश द प्रोजेक्ट इन मिनिमम टाइम एंड देन एट अ मिनिमम कॉस्ट भी गिवन होंगे एज यू विल सी। सो उसके लिए वो क्रिटिकल पाथ मेथड है वो जो हम अप्लाई करेंगे, बट दैट्स ऑल अबाउट द फर्स्ट स्टेप ऑफ नेटवर्क कंस्ट्रक्शन. Okay, yes, so please ask if you have any doubts. I'll share with you the information from where to try the questions. Otherwise, I'll upload the tube sheet. At least tube sheet का first के questions का first step कर सकते हो, network draw करने वाला, वहाँ से आपको idea मिल जाएगा कि how accurately you have understood this, and then we can proceed in the next class with the next method. Okay, so if there are no more doubts, so then I'll end this meeting.